let's make a budget. Log in, create a new project, call it budget. And there a new project is created. The first thing I normally do to set up my kanboard is to change my columns. This is the default columns. So let's change them to the following. So we have request, permission and work in progress, which I'm going to change to done. And then the last one I don't need, so I'm going to delete the last one. I don't need work in progress. So there's my columns, request, permission and done. If we go to the board, you will see I have my 3 columns, request, permission and done. And then I'm going to classify I'm going to configure the project and introduce swim lanes in order to classify my needed expenditures. So the first one is going to be needs. This is stuff that's non-negotiable. The second one is going to be luxuries. That is nice to have. And the last one is going to be long term. So having completed my swim lanes, my board is now looking like this. There's needs, and we have luxuries, long term, and we have the request phase, the permission phase and the done phase. So let's see how to use this. Okay, so let's populate the requests for money to be spent. The first one is for groceries. Okay, so there's my tasks. We need groceries, school clothes, fuel and electricity. That is the request for needs. Okay, so there's some of the luxuries that we would like to do, and then there's some long-term items that we need to do. Okay, we need to clean the gutters, paint the roof and buy new tires for the car. And now that you will see it is useless for only one person to work on this, so we all need to work on this. So I'm going to add a new user called Gina and Ilmarie. So there's our users, Biniku, Gina and Ilmarie. So going back to the board, our budget, you'll see that the person that wants the iPhone is actually Gina, and the person that wants the guitar pickup is actually Biniku. And it is Ilmarie that wants to do her hair. And then we had a family meeting and Ilmarie said to do hair is not a luxury, it's definitely a need. So we're moving that to need, and we said that the guitar pickup is cheaper than the iPhone, so that gets priority. We go to the long term and we say to clean the gutters is much cheaper than to paint the roof, but it's also important that we change the tires. Okay, so Biniku has to buy the groceries, and Ilmarie has to go and buy the school clothes, and electricity is again Biniku, and then the fuel is again Biniku. And we decide that the sequence in which these must be done can be changed. The fuel price is going up, so we need to go and buy some fuel, and we need to go and buy some groceries. So the fuel need to be bought before the price goes up. So the price goes up on Wednesday, so we need to buy the fuel at least by Tuesday, and we estimated that we will need 600 rands worth of fuel. So in order to show what we agree on, perhaps we can make the guitar pickup grey or brown, as well as the iPhone, because that's not priorities at the moment. The gutters, we can say we must do that, so we can make it a lighter green, so like that. And the car's tires is very important, so that must definitely be done. Okay, and then Hilmri has a shopping list, so she edits the task and here she puts everything that I must go and buy. So I must go and buy some bread, milk and jam. Okay, going back to the board, you will see that we now have the groceries and the fuel, and then Biniku goes and he goes and buys some groceries. So he moves this to done and he edits it to say that, listen, it is now green because he has actually completed it, and he saves it. And in the meantime, there's some chores that needs to be done. So I'm going to make one task called chores. And if I go and edit it, there's some subtasks. So for example, cut the grass, and then do the cat litter boxes, and all Biniku must do all of those. And then we can say, okay, add another subtask, and that is prep the week's meals, and that is for Ilmarie. So if you go back to the board, you'll see there's your chores, there's your subtasks, cut the grass. Biniku started with the cat litter boxes, and then if you go into it and if the cat litter boxes are done, you double click it like that, and you can say that we are 33% done. You'll see that after I've bought the groceries, Ilmarie checks it and she says, whoopsie, the milk wasn't right, so I must take back the milk. And you see, she says, no, it is not green anymore, it is amber. And going back to the board, she moves it back to be done. So just to have a different view on everything, you can use the table view and you can sort it by swim lane, for example. So there's the long-term lecture and the needs, or swim lane downwards, needs, lecture and long-term. And you can see what is where. Okay, but coming back to the board, so Biniku takes back the milk, swaps it for a new one. He says, okay, this is now edit the task, this is now done. And going back to the board, and then Ilmarie comes and she says, yeah, she's happy with the milk and she can close the task. As soon as she closes the tasks, and we go back to the board, you'll see it is not there anymore, except if you go to your filter and ask for all the closed tasks, or if you reset the filters, then you see everything. Your default is the open tasks. And then we decided it is okay, we can go and buy electricity, and the school clothes and the hair must still hold on a bit. So Biniku bought the fuel, so you can edit the task. It is now in the done column. And I'm also going to close the task because the fuel is done. I bought 600 rands worth of fuel. And there you can see all the closed tasks. And then we said, okay, let's collapse the luxury swim lane. And let's say we can go on with the gutter. We already got a quote of 600 rand, but the tires are priority. So we must first do the tires, and then we must try to book a date for that. So let's do that after we get paid on Friday the 29th. So that is the due date for that then. So we must make an appointment at the tire place. So you can see there the comment says make appointments. Okay, and this is basically how you use a kanboard. You can collapse all the tasks. We can expand the luxury swim lane again. We can reset the filters to show everything, but also those that are done. So in the expanded view, you can see all the detail, like a closed due date. You can see the comments and you can see the subtasks.